चलिए दोस्तों शुरू करते हैं without wasting time. In the last video, we have seen that how manually we can configure the VLAN on the leaf port, okay, and whether configuration required to enter achieve that. In this video, we are going to cover the how to configure L3 out. And before jumping over the solution document and actual configuration in the APIC, I want to explain the how the fabric look like. So this is the topology look like in the ACI. Okay, we have in this APIC. I have shown you the only single controller, but in the real environment, you will see the three controller. Minimum three controller is required or is recommended by the Cisco. Okay. So this is the APIC. This is the controller. In this controller, we will log in and do the all the configuration. Okay. These are the four Nexus 9K switches, and these are the spine router spine one and spine two. Okay. These spines are acting as a route reflector in this topology. Spine one is RR1 and spine two is RR2, and these are the two leaf I have only considered in this topology. This is server leaf. We are calling this leaf as a server leaf because on this leaf server will be connected. Okay, and this is the border leaf. This leaf is connected with our the external network. Okay, from this border leaf we will configure the L3 out with this MPLS router. Okay, this ACI internal BGP AS number is 100 and service provider AS number is AS1. Okay, so if you're not aware about the how the router reflector works, so you can watch my playlist where I have explained the how router reflector work. Okay, and what is the requirement of BGP router reflector. Okay, so these server leaf and border leaf both will be act as a router reflector client for the spine 1 and spine 2. Okay, in the leaf spine architect we have there is no connectivity between the spines except in the leaf. You can see that. Okay, spines are connected with the both leaf, and similar way, you can say the leaf are connected with the only spine. They are not connected with each other. There is no connectivity between spine to spine, and there is no connectivity will be between leaf to leaf. Okay. Let's jump for the solution document. As in the topology, I already explained you how the ACI fabric look like. Okay, what is the requirement and what we are going to do. In this the lab, what we are trying to achieve is we have to create the L3 out from the border leaf to MPLS router. Okay, our requirement we need to create the L3 out. Okay, and the protocol which we run between the border leaf and MPLS service provider is BGP. Okay, and MPLS provider AS will be AS1 as you have seen the topology also, and the connectivity which will do the between the border leaf and between the MPLS router. So we want to do the port channel sub interface. Okay, on the port channel we want to create a sub interface. The region doing the port channel is in the practical implementation. You will see if you want to upgrade the capacity in future, so port channel good idea, you have to simply add the link in the port channel. In the port channel sub interface we create, and we get the VLAN 201. So our interface on the ACI will be look like interface PO1.201. Okay, so these are the VLAN which is required between the service provider, ampli service provider, and border leaf. You will get from the ISP or your provider, or you can, it's a mutual understanding. Okay, what are the VLAN they want to go with. Okay, both and on the ampli provider router and border leaf. So this is how the solution document look like. I have put the all of the object name because as we have seen in the last video also, while to do the config in the ACI, for every object we need to define the object name. Okay. Similar way here also I define the like for this VLAN pool. Okay, I'm giving the name to the VLANs underscore MPLS. This is the pool for MPLS link. Okay, VLAN for the this is a description, and VLAN range will be 200 to 210. Okay, allocation mode be again kept default. Okay, routed domain here we are putting earlier in the last video when we have deployed the VLAN only, we were doing the physical domain where the domain was L2. Okay, in this we have to put the interface IP, so we are considering as a routed domain L3 domain. Okay, and here is the given the AEP attachable access entity profile name. Okay, once we do that in this fabric access policy, we will first proceed for the VLAN pool, and after we define the routed domain, after we configure the AEP, after that we'll proceed with the interface profile. This is the interface profile name I have given. Okay, IPR border leaf 101. Okay, 101 leaf we have considered border leaf. Okay, after that on this we will consider port 1/1, this port, and we will configure the interface policy group for this port, and this AEP which we have configured earlier we will attach. On this IPG group, we will configure the fewer policy like CDP will be off, MCP will be off, and link policy will apply the 10G. Here we are assuming 10G connectivity will be between the border leaf and service provider router. And after that we'll proceed for the leaf profile. Border leaf profile will do. After in that we will select the leaf selector, we will select the leaf, and we will attach the IPR policy which we have created here. Once we done that, to run the L3 out, okay, we will do the fabric config required, like in the fabric, as I have shown you the topology, route reflector spine, both the spines, spine 1 and spine 2 will be act as a route reflector. So we'll configure the route spine IDs in the route vector node, and we'll also configure the AS BGP AS100 for the ACI. This is the AS for the ACI. And after that, in the tenant section, we have to do the L3, and the networking section will go. In the that we configure the L3 out. This will the L3 out name I put, border leaf MPLS CMN. Okay, common L3 out name I'm putting. And after that, we need to define the logical node profile and interface profile, and EPG will be required. Okay, and so these are the things we have to do in the BGP. We need to enable the what are our IP or the remote and IP or the remote. Yeah, the other thing we need to configure. So let's jump for the configuration in the Epic Fabric. So here we on the fabric. Okay, so under the fabric we need to go to the access policy. Wait, here we are. Fabric under the access policy we have to go. After that, first we need to go for the VLAN pool. Right click I have done. Let me do the create the VLAN pool. I'm getting the name from the solution documents. That's where I'm putting the name. Object name with this. Allocation the static. Let's put the range here. 200 to 210. Add to the solution document. That's everything I'm keeping default. Submit. So we are done with the VLAN pool. Once we're done with the VLAN, we need to go for the physical domain. The physical domain. Now we have to proceed with the L3 out. L3 domain. Okay. In the case of L3 out, we are creating L3 out domain. Similar way, I'm getting the name of the L3 out domain from the solution document. I put the domain name. Okay, here I'm attaching the VLAN pool which we have created. Okay, submit. We've done with the L3 out domain and VLAN pool. Now let's jump to the AEP. In the policies I'm going under the global. Here this is the attachable action profile. I'm right clicking. Again I'm jumping for the solution document. I'm getting the name of the AEP. Got the name. Let me put its name here. This is the name for the AEP. Attaching the physical domain here which you just configured. So here we have a routed domain L3 MPLS we have configured. Updated. Next. And so we have done correct. We have configured the VLAN pool, physical domain, and AEP. Now we'll to proceed for the IPG under the interface, leaf interface. Here is the policy group. Policy group is showing the leaf access port channel VPC. Now we got the port channel interface. So right click on the create the port channel IPG interface policy group. Again I'm getting the name of the policy group. Got the name. Okay, here important thing is we need to attach the AEP. AEP have configured that AEP attached. Rest of the thing let's skip default to save the time. So CDP, I'm not attaching anything here. Okay. If you want show the policy, you can attach most important policy with the port channel policy. Like most of the time service provider about lift try to run the LACP. Here you can we can take this system LACP active. That's it. If any policy required, we can configure that, but we are not configuring any policy here. We are only enabling the LACP active. We have done with the IPG. After the IPG, we need to proceed for the interface profile. And again, same interface, leaf interface. Here is the profile option is coming. Under the profile, let me do the right click, create a leaf interface profile. Under the leaf interface profile, again, I'm taking the name. From the solution document, I've got the name, and I'm copy pasting it. Okay. Option with interface selector. Okay, interface selector. Let's put the name of port 1 I'm putting here. and we are going to put the interface 1/1. Okay, here I am attaching the interface policy group which we have just configured, IPG, PC, Waterleaf, MPLS. Okay, so we were done. Okay, so far, so we have selected the interface profile. Done. Now let's jump for the switch profile or leaf profile. In the switches, leaf switches, in the profile option here, you have to do the right click. Again, I'm getting the document, referring this, which we have pointed. Border leaf, BL border leaf. I'm giving the name border leaf. So this can be easily identified. These are the parameters related to border leaf. Again, I put the border leaf name here, border leaf 101. You can put any name. Now we need to select the leaf. So let's select the leaf is 101. We will select. Okay, that's it. Update. Next. Next. Then the leaf we have. Mhm. When the leaf under this profile is created, and under that here we need to associate the interface selector profile also. Click on the interface profile which we have created IPR. So I will associate. So we are done, which is the config required toward the access policy side. Okay, what we have done, we have covered the VLAN pool, physical domain, IPG, interface profile, and switch profile. Let's jump to the tenant side. So before jumping to the tenant side configuration, we need to define the spine as a RR. This step is only required when we are provisioning a new infrastructure. Okay, this is the ACI we are provisioning first time, so we need to configure this setting also. So under the system we have to go. Under the system here is showing the BGP route reflector. On this we'll click. Okay, so this will ask what is the autonomous system. As we have one solution document 100 will be the BGP AS number for this ACI, and here we need to add the route reflector nodes. So what are the node will become the route reflector. So our spine will become the route reflector. Spine ID is 103. Okay, I'm putting 103 as a spine. Okay, and one more node is the two spine we have. Okay, this I already put it. Yes, just wait, let me do the refresh. It's there. Okay, the spine 103 is already there. Oh, it's not showing the spine 4 104. So one spine is not reflecting, there is no problem with this. So step will be same. Okay, in this we need to add the 104 also. It's that spine is not reflecting, might be some due to the hardware issue or some problem. So we'll proceed with the single spine. Here I put the BGP AS number. This is the AS number for the ACI, and here I added the spine 103 as a route reflector node. Let me do the submit. Submit changes. Okay. So I've done that. If you re-click now on this BGP router, you will find that this is the AS number for the ACI is configured. And downside we can see for this port number 1, these are the route reflector node. Okay. So let's jump to the now tenant section. In the tenant, first thing we'll get the new tenant as this is a new fabric. Let's create a tenant. Let's give the name to test tenant. This is how you can configure the tenant. Now we under the test tenant. In the test tenant for configuring the L3 out, we need to go under the test tenant, and under the here in the networking we have to go under the networking. This is the L3 out option we have. L3 out. Do the right click on this, create L3 out. Okay. So let me get the name for the L3 out which you have decided. Okay, let's put the name MPLS L3 out. Okay, I'm putting the name border leaf MPLS L3 out. Okay. Here we can select the VRF name also. Okay, I'm selecting the default common VRF, default VRF, you can say. Okay, and here we have to select the L3 domain, which you're going to configure the L3 domain, the fabric access policy. That name I'm selecting. So this was the name we have configured. And here we have to click this protocol, which protocol we want to use on the L3 out with the service provider router and border leaf. So we'll select the BGP as we are going to the BGP. Clicking on the OSPF, IGRP which you require. So here I'm clicking this use default anything. Okay. First thing asking node profile name. Okay. Again I'm referring the solution document and I'm getting this border leaf name, which is for the node profile. Where I put it the node profile name. After that, the interface we can configure the interface direct on the port also, or on the here we are going to configure with the uh, sub interface and port channel. On the port channel there will be sub interface. Okay, so that's the reason I select off. So here you're asking for me now select the node. Okay, so node I'm selecting leaf 101. Okay, router ID. So you can say that for each L3 out. Okay, uh, you can call the L3 out. So you can say this is the L3 out for the like BGP in the router ID. You can consider this type. Okay. So we can go the loopback IP. So I'm putting the 1.1.1 here. Okay. And this will ask for the port channel path. Okay. So this path will only reflect once you consider the IPG. So under the IPG we have created, there is the name is reflecting now here. Okay. Interface profile. Again, I'm getting this from the solution document. So what are the options you can consider in the interface type? Either you can put the IP on the direct interface or in the sub interface or SPI, like on the VLAN interface. Okay, that we can also do. Encapsulating the VLAN. Okay, here we have to select the VLAN as we are going for the sub interface direct port channel. So from that pool range, we have to select the VLAN. We are setting the our range is 200 to 210. So I am one VLAN I'm selecting here 201. Here we have to put the hour and interface IP. Okay, let's suppose hour and inter IP is 192.168.1.1. Okay, it's asking for the mask. I'm putting a slash 30. So 1.2 IP will be the toward the ISP and IP on the ISP and router IP. Here we need to define a contract. Okay, this is the L3 out EPG name. Okay, EPG name we have considered. Okay, same name I'm putting here for the L3 out EPG. This is the EPG name. And is asking for the contract. Okay, here I'm using the default common contract where the everything is allowed. Okay, you can create the custom contract and you can use it. Okay. So this is the default DPG for all the external networks. So now if I do the now I created the L3 out. So let configure the BGP peering also under the L3 out. In the L3 out section, I'm going in this L3 out border leaf MPLS L3 out. Under that, in the logical node profile, once we click here, okay, so this will ask for the in the logical node profile we have to go. This is the node profile name which we have configured. Okay, under that this will show upside like this. Okay, this will show here this node profile. If you come down, okay, so this is showing the node ID, router ID, you can say. Okay, which we have configured. And this is here is showing the option for the BGP peer connectivity. If we click on this icon, it's showing the interfaces. I'm selecting on the physical interface port channel which you have gone here. Here is asking for the peer IP address. It's asking the what is the neighbor IP address for service provider end. So I'm putting the IP to 1.2 as 1.1. We our side is the IP and we are using slash 30 subnet mask. And this is the BGP ES for the service provider router. I put one. Our ES number is 100. Okay. Anything feature if you want to configure, we can configure here. Okay. Let's say if you want to configure any password that we can configure here. Okay. This is the so just Okay, and I do the refresh. So here we can see that now we have this BGP peer connection is there. Okay, and here we are not using any route map. Once you go to the L3 out and this logical node profile in this, on the same option we have a route map also we can configure to control the incoming and outgoing route policies. We are not using anything. And here is the EPG, external EPG. So external EPG, we are not doing anything to enter any contracting in place. The other important thing, need to check contract should be in place. We have configured the different contract which is consuming and provided. And that's it. The other thing. Let's jump to the Epic now to see if the configuration pushed on the leaf or not. I'm logging to the Epic CLI. Logging to the Epic. Let me increase the font size. Appearance change. So increase the font size. So let's take the configuration. Show run leaf 101. So the leaf 101 on port number 1/1. The port channel. That port will be the part of the port channel. On that we have configured the IP address, and after that we configure the BGP. So here we can see that we have in this leaf, under the leaf context we have, okay. So this is the VRF context for the tenant test. VRF default we are using. This is the L3 out we have configured. Border leaf MPLS L3 out. And this is the router ID or loop packet we are talking about. We have configured. Okay. Route map is scope global. We didn't configure any. These are the default route map got created. And this is here you can see that on the interface 1/1, this port channel got called because now this interface is a part channel of this IPG. This is the port channel you can see, a logical port channel created under this port channel. The other thing, okay. And you can see that interface port channel here you can see this is the interface port channel got created. Dot 201, okay, sub port channel interface we have created, and this will be part of VRF member tenant and this L3 out. And IP address is our end IP address we have configured on this sub interface port channel. We go down. So here we have a BGP related configure router BGP 100. This is the ACI AS number, and under the VRF member tenant we are default under that, under this tenant and under VRF default we have configured this BGP neighborship 1.2, and this is L3 out address family IP for unicast, and this is the remote AS of the MPLS service provider. So we have seen that how we can do the with manually, how we can push the, how we can create the L3 out config in the ACI end to end. In the next video, we will see how we can do the similar config with the help of Terraform. So just for the recap, with the help of this flowsheet document, we have configured the L3 out configuration to establish a BGP neighborship between the border leaf and MPLS service provider router. Okay. So again, so these are the things which have gone through. First, we have created the access policy VLAN pool. Then we go for the routed domain, physical domain. Okay, then we create the AEP. After that, we go for the IPR. IPG, and after that we are going for the IPR. Under the IPR, we call this IPG. After we proceed for the leaf profile. Under the leaf profile, we call the IPR. Okay, once we done that, we proceed for the system where we have configured the spine node as a route reflector, and we configure the ACI ES BGP 100. Okay. After that, we go to we have created the tenant. Under the tenant in the networking section, we have configured the L3 out name. Under the L3 out, given the logical node profile name, okay, and logical interface profile name. We have configured the interface on the, we have configured the option of interface type in the sub interface, sub port channel interface. On that, we have configured the IP. And after that, under the node profile, after getting L3 out, we have configured the peering, and where we have defined the neighbor ISP and router IP and their AS. And similar way, after that, we have verified the configuration along the epic. In the show run leaf 101, we have verified L3 out configuration with respect to BGP interface and route maps.